Hi. So, little update real quick. First of all, I got a load. Got a load going to South Central Texas, and then going to do a local thing over here shortly. Gonna have to leave here within the next 10, 15, 20 minutes probably to go deliver a load within town, and then I'm going to go to basically pretty much Nuevo Laredo, pick up in Nuevo Laredo, take that north, and then go home. Let's talk about what this video is really about, because that's not what this is about. That's just an update. I'm pretty sure we've all heard, or I'm pretty sure a lot of us have heard of the possible Iranian threat with an EMP. Now, can Iran launch an EMP right now as it is on their own? No, not that I know of. They would need help. They have 3 allies that would be able to help them. That would be North Korea, China, and Russia. With the Lend-Lease Act just signed by the United States to help Ukraine, Russia would be more on the approval side of potentially helping Iran with this. I'm not going to get into all of that. Let's just say Iran is successful and hits the United States with an EMP. Now, there's 3 grids in the United States: East Coast, West Coast, and Texas. I'm currently in Texas, but I live under the West Coast grid. Let's say they're successful. There's a few things that you're going to need to do right away, and the first thing is that would happen is there would be obviously loss of power. Now, if you're at home, your power goes out, and let's say it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day outside. Well, what could be the issue? Maybe somebody ran into a power line, because it's obviously not a storm. Well, let's say you don't know what happened. Maybe you're thinking that somebody ran into the power line, but you have to have the thought of an EMP in the back of your head at all times when the power goes out. First thing that you're going to want to do is check your cell phone. This thing right here. If that cell phone is no longer working, there's a very good chance that it was an EMP. Check your cell phone first thing you do. Check that, because that's going to be fried. Unless you've got a seriously old cell phone, it's massive, it might still work. But if you've got anything like I do, it's going to be fried. Most likely, 90% chance it's going to be fried. Check your phone. If that's not working, there's a better chance it's an EMP. There's a damn good chance that it's an EMP. Go outside if you have a newer car. If it starts, the car maybe not like the foolproof. It's an EMP kind of thing. But check all your electronics. And if that's the case, nothing works, just had an EMP. Now that you've assessed the situation, you've determined that it is an EMP. Here's what you're going to want to do. If you have an older vehicle, and if the older vehicle still works, don't use it in broad daylight. Because you could be going down the road, and Joe Average in their 2022 Hyundai is now dead on the side of the road. He's coming home from the office. He's going to be pissed that you still have a working vehicle, and he's going to wonder why his car and many other cars are no longer working, and you become the target. So stay away from those people, or stay away from using your vehicle, at least in the beginning, if you can. If you're driving your vehicle and it still works, that's a different story. Get home if you can. Don't take your car out in broad daylight. Don't let everybody know that you have a working vehicle if that's the case. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to secure all of your food, all of your water, all of your preps. You're going to want to get all of that together. Make sure, if you're going to bug out, make sure you have everything ready to go ASAP. And I would not bug out during the day. Make sure you have all of your security equipment. And if you are in a neighborhood I would recommend getting out of your house, and at least for the first few hours, maybe up to the first 5 hours, get out of the house, because there could be fires. The third event in an EMP is the one that's going to start fires with the grid. So you're going to want to make sure that you're nowhere near the grid when that happens, or at least that you're away from the house. Hours later, nothing's caught on fire, good to go, back inside, and then start getting ready for what you're going to need to do next. There's going to be you're going to have to prepare yourself mentally for what's going to come next, because there's going to be a lot of death. There's going to be a lot of death in nursing homes. There's going to be a lot of death in hospitals. Unfortunately, there's going to be, newborns are going to die who need to be hooked up to life-sustaining equipment. Anyone on life support, they're not going to make it. You're going to have to prepare yourself mentally for what you're going to see coming, within the next coming days, weeks, months. Because there's going to be a lot of death. If you're in a hot area and you don't have AC, or you're not going to have AC more than likely. If you don't have solar panels and you don't have the ability to have AC, and you're in a hot area, you're going to want to stay put during the day, and then if you have the ability to go to a colder climate, you're going to want to do that now. Heat kills fast. The heat zaps the life out of you faster than you would think. I live in the desert. I know this. Get to a cooler temperature, get to a cooler climate, get higher in elevation, do what you need to do to stay cool, especially during the summertime. If you're in Texas, there's not a lot you can do. You can probably go northeast, northwest, just depending if you're in West Texas, you're going to want to go straight north to probably New Mexico, to the mountains. You're going to want to get to a cooler climate if you are able to. If you have a running vehicle, get to a cooler climate. But do it during the night. Don't do it during the daytime. Again, you don't want to be a target. If you're doing this at night, you're going to want to make sure you're not going very fast. Keep your speed down, because there's a lot of animals at night. The last thing that you want to do is hit a deer at 70 miles an hour in a 1980s vehicle or older and have that thing come through the windshield. It's the last thing that you want. Once you are safe, you are in a safe area where you're going to be long term. This is now where you're going to need to enact your EMP plan if you have one. And you should have one right now. I hope you do. If not, I highly recommend coming up with a plan to figure out what you're going to do in the event of an EMP. I'm not saying the event of an EMP is highly likely, or even likely. It is possible. It is very possible. It definitely could happen. Regardless of what you think, anything is possible. An EMP is definitely possible. We have, there are holes in the defense system. But, I'm sure the defense system will hold up to a degree, but, there's always a possibility of a stray attack, a stray, one of them to get through and to cause an EMP. It's always a possibility, and you keep that in mind. Make sure, you're not naive about it. Don't be psyching yourself out thinking that can't happen. So get a plan, get ready, and stay cool if it happens during the summertime. If it happens at all, and if it happens during the summertime, make sure you stay cool. Stay in a place where it's not going to get too hot. Stay near water. And, figure out what you're going to do.